Yes, we do. Let's see. I can go out to the shelf and tell you what is signed. Hang on just a minute.
I can grab it off the caller ID if not. It was 336 or something like that. 5133. New York 12061. Okay, let me buzz this into the computer and then I'll get your credit card from you. Give me 1 second.
So my purpose here is to go inside a bookstore and give you a personal look, a more personal look at what it means to a bookstore when something like this thing with Second Chance Dog happens. We've shipped more than 700 copies and we're hitting 4,000. And I've seen firsthand the impact on the bookstore of this happening, the phone calls, the work. I thought it would be nice if Connie got to talk about that a little bit and tell you what it's like from her end. There may be interruptions if people come in, and that's okay. We can handle that. Okay, Connie.
So yeah, this is Command Central. So we're a small bookstore. So when something like all of the orders for Second Chance Dog happen, we don't suddenly sprout a warehouse. It's still just the bookstore. So this is kind of where everything happens. We have our desk, we have the phone, we have Connie's cup of coffee. Orders come in, we process them, you know, right at the desk, just like we would if you walked up to the counter and had a book that you wanted to buy if you were in the store. And we have a little label maker, we process the credit card, and then we kind of shift down here and we package up the books right over on the counter. When John and Maria come in, they sign right at the table right here in front of the desk. So it all happens in kind of a space that's about, I don't know, 10 by 8 feet, which is kind of remarkable given that we sent out 700 books last week. So luckily we all get along. So I work with my mom and I work with Kate and Colleen, and it can get pretty tight back here and we'll kind of bump into each other, but we all get along really well, and usually get a little silly by the end of days processing hundreds of John's books. But we do it, it's real, we just make it happen. So
what kind of impact has this had on your personal life at home?
It can be hard sometimes. Just the hours, you know, the sheer hours when we have literally hundreds of orders coming in a given day. That means I've got to stay late. And it means when we're packing up the books, I'm here late. And when I do get home, I'm a little tired out. So the family, you know, we have some extended family that come and help out and help with my son, who's 5 years old, and he understands. In fact, when I was interviewing John the other day on Book Talk Nation, Henry wanted to sit with me and conduct the interview, which we didn't do,
he
but
could have done it too.
He was very excited. He wanted to take part. So I don't know. He knows what mom does for work, and he grew up in the bookstore. He's been here pretty much since he was born, so he kind of knows what we do. But it is hard. I mean, it's just this time of year too. It's long hours when you're a retailer, but it's what we do. So
I get the feeling sometimes that you're almost becoming a national bookstore as well as a local one. Do you feel that sometimes?
I think for some people we have become that. I hear from people every day. They'll call, they'll order John's book, and they'll say, "Gosh, we lost our little bookstore. We're so sad. We're 100 miles from a bookstore. Could I order my books through you?" And of course we say yes, and that's wonderful. And they really like the customer service that we can provide, that they can call up and say, "Just saw this book, I heard it on the radio, or I saw it on TV, can you get it for me?" And we figure out what the book was and we ship it right out to them. We're just a person, we're not a computer screen. So we have in some ways become a bookstore for, we have customers in Minnesota and we've got customers in California, and they know who they are. If you're watching, you know who you are.
What's the most fun part for you?
For me, it's talking to people who are very real people to me across the country. I get personal notes. I have some who I consider friends. A woman up in Ontario, and
you got cookies on your birthday the other day.
You got cookies from Jackie. Thank you, Jackie. Jackie and I share a birthday. So I do this because I care about people, and I love talking to people, and this so allows us to do that. And I just love the personal connection that we can make with people. And we hear from people they can't wait to come to Cambridge and come in and say hello, and then they do, and then, you know, months from now they might take a trip and they're here, and we love that. So keeps me going. It gets me through the tired moments.
How does this affect you the rest of Christmas?
Well, it certainly gets us ready for the long hours that are over caffeinated. We are well prepared. But we just kind of, we'll roll into Christmas. This is the beginning of Christmas. Started this morning. We've been filling up bags for people, and it just rolls. My house gets messy, and we just sell books at the bookstore.
So on a practical note, so this campaign seems to be going on.
Yes.
Every time we think it's stopping, it's not stopping, and I'm game for that. So the procedure still remains the same. Tell us how people can get the book if they want the book.
Probably the easiest way is to go to our website, battenkillbooks.com. Right on that homepage, I think it's the second item down, there's an order form for the book, and you can use PayPal that way to pay for the book, which is easy for most people. If you don't do PayPal or you want to talk to one of us, you just call us, 518-677-2515. Some people want to send a check, that's fine too. It's $33.75 for one copy of the book. And you can get our address online, but we're 15 East Main Street in Cambridge, New York. So those are kind of the three ways it still holds. John and Maria are still happy to sign copies of the book. They'll personalize the book. We've still got some bags of dog food to give away, and we've got lots of items that we're still
two Frida pot holders.
2 awesome Frida pot holders.
Give me a red.
That Maria's been making. And some prints of Minnie and the chickens that John will have matted. So it's a good time. And it makes a great Christmas gift, as we know, since it ends on Christmas Eve. So. Well,
it's an evolution for me. This is my first sort of, it's not really an online book tour because there's definitely a physical element to it. But
yes,
definitely mixing old and new. But I'm focusing in on the book as a Christmas book, as a Black Friday book, as a support Bookstore's book, and as a support John Katz's book, not least, last but not least. And so I think it's exciting. It's evolving in a different way than I imagined, but Connie's become a big part of it. I told someone the other day, it's like I have like a local publisher now. So, and I enjoy it. Well, I appreciate watching you guys work. We're having a good time.
We sure
We do get a little tired and sore sometimes, but it's a great way to get tired.
I'm developing my book lifting muscles.
Well, thank you, Connie. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Thanks, everybody.